Coming up, rumors are swirling about Celine Dion and her possible return to the Las Vegas stage by the end of this year. A long-running topless revue that has been closed for over 4 years has finally announced a reopening date. More shows have announced extensions, reopening dates. I'll give you my usual calendar of one-night-only concerts and resident headliners. That and more. I'm Mike the Vegas Guy, and this is your July 2024 Las Vegas Entertainment Update. Let's get right into it. I've warned you before in my June video. It is your final chance. This is your final warning. The Mirage Hotel and Casino is closing for good on July 17th. And as I've mentioned before, the Beatles' Love is closing on July 7th. So if you're watching this right when I publish it, you have 1 week left to see Love, probably one of the best Cirque du Soleil shows in this town's history. You have 2 weeks left to catch Shin Lim and his Limitless show at the Mirage Theater. It was announced that he will be moving officially to the Palazzo, just across the street. He will be moving to the Palazzo Theater. This is the room that was originally built for Jersey Boys and has had a few other shows here and there. The Baz Luhrmann production show. There was also a brief run by Clint Holmes. A lot of shows have not done too well in that room. I hope it works out well for Shin Lim. He's a very popular act, internationally famous, so hopefully it's very successful for him. Also, touching on things I mentioned in my June update, Love and Laughter, the Toni Braxton, Cedric the Entertainer double-header show that I mentioned, has been extended. It is officially a hit, as I hoped it would be. They have been extended through December. Only select weekends, basically 1 weekend every other month is how it's shaping up to be. Needless to say, they have been extended, so hopefully there'll be lots more to come from them in the coming months and years over at the Chelsea. In some kind of surprising news, out of the blue, a long-running show, X Rocks, a topless show that was running at Bally's prior to the pandemic. It closed with the 2020 pandemic. Bally's has since changed names to Horseshoe, and all of a sudden they've announced that they are going to be reopening. They are not going to be in their previous space, the back room. I don't know what they're using that for anymore. They're going to be moving upstairs into what has previously been known as the Magic Attic. They are renaming that showroom to the Imagine Theater. That opens on September 4th over at the Horseshoe. Let's take a look at the calendar for July for the one-night-only headliners. These are the summer concert tours. It is the middle of summer. It's July. We've got a lot of tours coming through town. I'll let you take a look at it on the screen if you want to screenshot this, but we do have coming up this coming Wednesday, Blink 182 at T-Mobile Arena. On the 6th, next Saturday, Il Divo will be at the Palms. Jesse McCartney is going to be over at the M Resort. So some good shows for locals, as well as the tourists. Next weekend, July 13th, Missy Elliott is going to be at T-Mobile Arena. On the 17th, Ziggy Marley. On July 24th, over at the Palms, Melissa Etheridge with Jewel. And here's one not necessarily on the Strip, but over at the Smith Center at Reynolds Hall on July 27th, the wickedly talented Idina Menzel will be performing. It's almost sold out, but I'll be going to that one. I'm a Broadway nerd. Had to mention it. Taking a look now at the resident headliners, the resident acts, the limited run shows that we have for more than one night. Some holdovers from June. Some people who started their runs at the end of June have extended through July 4th weekend. Garth Brooks is still at the Coliseum. Lady Gaga over at Park MGM. Dead & Company has a couple more nights at the Sphere. Something I forgot to mention in my June video relating to Lady Gaga's residency slipped my mind. Anytime Lady Gaga is playing her show at Park MGM, there is an after show. Her trumpet player, legendary musician Brian Newman, has this really great late night 11:30 p.m. show at the Nomad Library. That is still going on as well. You can check his website for those details. Some other headliners playing this month. New Edition will be at Encore for a few nights. At the end of the month, Rod Stewart, Morrissey and Mariah Carey all have residencies. As always, I'm not here to give you any help for discounts or ticket prices for these shows. I'm just letting you know that they're happening. You're going to have to pay full price, so head over to Ticketmaster or go to the hotel's website to look up information on each of these shows if you're interested. And finally, let's get into it. Celine Dion. She just came out with this documentary on Amazon Prime. I watched it. It is gut-wrenching, but it's kind of hopeful. She makes it very clear in this documentary that she is determined to come back to performing. Now, along with the premiere of this movie, she did a red carpet premiere. She did interviews with many people on that red carpet, and several times she hinted that she intends to return to the stage, contrary to how she appears in the documentary. In her public appearances recently, she has seemed much more lively, much more energetic, and ready to get back to performing. Last week, it made some headlines locally here. She made an appearance. She attended a show at the Wynn, and she got an ovation from the audience. Of course, the documentary had just come out. If you're living here in Vegas, if you're paying attention to the entertainment news locally, she's been out and about a lot in the last few months. She's gone to a Golden Knights game. She was at the Rolling Stones concert that I was at a few weeks back. Just this weekend, in fact, she appeared at the NHL Draft, which is being held at the Sphere. Celine Dion herself has all but indicated that she will be returning to the stage, but she continues to be completely hush-hush on a possible date or any other details. This is where our local Las Vegas reporting comes into play. John Katsilometes of the Las Vegas Review-Journal, if you were not aware, he is the #1 entertainment reporter in Vegas. He's actually a Man About Town columnist. Unlike myself and other vloggers out there on the internet, I speculate. Most of us speculate. Johnny Katz, on the other hand, tends not to speculate when he does his reporting. He has a lot of inside information. In fact, some people criticize him for just kind of being a mouthpiece who publishes what the celebrities themselves want him to publish. Given that, it's very interesting that on April 6th of this year, he posted an article where he heavily suggested that Celine Dion would be returning to the Resorts World Theater in time for New Year's Eve. He indicated that there is an empty slot in the December schedule after their other headliners are gone, and he strongly hinted that he thinks it would be a good place for Celine to come back. It is safe to assume that if Celine Dion did not want Johnny Katz to print that in the Las Vegas Review-Journal, he would not have printed that. He has a relationship with her and her team. He likes to maintain those relationships, so it wouldn't be very good for him to wildly speculate about something as serious as her returning to the stage, if it might put their relationship in danger. I should note that he has, however, in more recent articles, he did cover the movie premiere very heavily the last few weeks. He has stated that Celine's team continues to insist there are no dates officially set yet, and he did recently say that it seems unlikely that she will return this year. So if I'm reading the tea leaves correctly, so to speak, it does seem like she will definitely be making some sort of return to the stage, supposedly at Resorts World, supposedly to honor the contract she had originally signed in 2020. She was set to open the Resorts World Theater. I would be very surprised if it actually is a legitimate run of shows happening as early as this December, but the way that Johnny Katz hinted heavily at the words New Year's Eve does make me think that it's very possible there might be some sort of one-night-only special New Year's Eve event. That's me speculating. I get to speculate. If you're getting your news from some guy on YouTube, just understand that it's speculation. I make no guarantees. But if you know anything about Vegas entertainment, New Year's Eve is a big night for big-name headliners. Every hotel loves to have a huge headliner, big-ticket event show in their biggest showroom on New Year's Eve. The tickets usually go for extremely high markups, and they also use it as special invite-only events for their highest of high rollers to get them to stay at their hotel for New Year's Eve. If Resorts World was really trying to pull out all the stops for this New Year's Eve, it seems like the timing is right for Celine to at least appear for some sort of one-night-only event. I think the only reason we're not hearing anything is because her health truly is the biggest factor. If you watch that documentary, you'd be surprised to see her ever perform again, if we're being honest. It was rough to watch. But seeing all of the public appearances she has been making lately tells a completely different story. So as a fan, I'm hopeful for her sake, for the sake of the Celine we saw in that documentary being so determined to get back to the stage, I hope she does get to do that sooner than later. Oh, and I almost forgot my pick of the month. I promised I would do that every month. I tipped my hand. I've already got my tickets. I'm going to go see Adina on the 27th. But I guess maybe she's not the most mainstream appeal of everyone on that list. Let me know in the comments which of these shows you would like to see most. Shout out once again to my Patreon subscribers. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. And if you don't want to support me on Patreon, hitting that subscribe button is free to do, and it really helps out the channel. Of course, hitting the like button and leaving a comment does as well. I love interacting with you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Mike the Vegas Guy.